شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتو یې پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا
Good evening. Today is Tuesday, November 19, 2024. I'm Suleiman Talash and you are watching RTA News. Maulavi Nur Jalal Jalali, Minister of Public Health, met with Ms. Hanan Hassan Al-Balkhi, Director General of the WHO Eastern Region, UNICEF, Eastern Region, Bill Gates Foundation representatives, WHO and UNICEF officials for Afghanistan, and a number of other representatives of these organizations in the field of health. During this meeting, discussions were held on the development of health services in Afghanistan, strengthening efforts related to polio vaccination and prevention of this disease, construction of health centers along highways, treatment of malnourished patients, control of infectious diseases, and attracting international assistance in the field of health. Mr. Jalali called the cooperation of the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and Bill Gates Foundation essential for strengthening the Afghan health system and requested the officials of these organizations to work in coordination with the Ministry of Health in areas that are our priorities and needs. Maulavi Said Razam Osmani, Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Irrigation and Livestock, met with the head of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. The Minister of Agriculture says that Maulavi Said Razam Osmani stressed that the organization should implement development projects in Afghanistan alongside emergency projects. On the other hand, the head of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization said that the main objective of the organization in Afghanistan is to help the country's farmers, and the organization plans to implement up to 42% of development projects in Afghanistan next year. Mullah Nuruddin Torabi, head of the National Disaster Preparedness Agency, met with Mia Park, the new head of the International Organization for Migration, or IOM, for Afghanistan, and her delegation. In this meeting, Mullah Nuruddin Torabi appreciated the activities of the organization in Afghanistan, adding that the center has always provided widespread cooperation to the people of Afghanistan in the field of humanitarian and technical assistance. He added that the organization's representative's office in the Disaster Management Department was active, but it is currently inactive. And if the organization intends to inactivate its representation in this department, the Disaster Preparedness Agency is ready to cooperate fully. The Ministry of Mines and Petroleum signed an agreement with the Administrative Forums and Civil Services Authority to implement simplified processes. The Ministry of Mines and Petroleum says that under this agreement, the steps in the extraction process of large and small mines have been reduced from 228 to 95, and the steps in small mines from 178 to 67. The General Director of the Overseas Affairs Authority says that simplifying processes prevents corruption, pave the way for transparency. Let's see more in the report.
The Ministry of Mines and Petroleum signed an agreement with the Administrative Reforms and Civil Services Authority to facilitate the extraction process of large and small mines for investors.
Fortunately, as a result of the joint efforts of the Ministry of Mines and Petroleum and the Department of Administration and Civil Services, large-scale mines have been reduced from 228 steps to 95 steps, and small-scale mines from 178 steps to 67 steps.
Furthermore, the Director of the Administrative Reforms and Civil Services Authority says that simplifying the extraction process of large and small mines will facilitate work and will help the country's economy grow.
These are the basic processes that benefit the economy and the nation. And by simplifying them, our country benefits and our economy gets stronger.
At the same time, the General Director of the Administration says that simplifying the work process is a good step that prevents corruption in institutions and creates transparency.
دا ښه قدم داسې اخیستلی شوی ده.
This is a good work towards transparency, towards standardization, towards increasing trust, and towards providing good services to the people. This is in the interest of the government, in the interest of the nation, and in the interest of the employees of the ministry.
This comes at a time when the Administrative Reform and Civil Services Authority says that currently simplification of administrative process is underway in 10 ministries, and it's planned to extend this process into remaining ministries.
The Deputy Minister of Counter-Narcotics of the Ministry of Interior Affairs seized 62 kilograms of methamphetamine and 41 kilograms of hashish from Helmand province. According to the Deputy Minister, a number of people who were trying to import the drugs from Pakistan were arrested by the police of the Anti-Narcotics Department in Bahram district of the province. The deputy also added that 2 others were arrested from carrying 41 kilograms of hashish in a wheelchair. The Ministry of Interior Affairs announced the graduation of nearly 4,000 officers of the General Directorate of Border Police after a 1-month training. According to the ministry, these officers of the air and ground ports of the General Directorate of Border Police graduated from 1-month training in literacy, ideology, computers, first aid, and crime detection and received certificates. Dozens of young people graduated from freelancing program in Herat. Qari Muhammad Yunus Rashid, Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs of the Ministry of Information and Culture, emphasized the development of youth talents in a meeting organized in this regard, saying that the implementation of freelancing programs has provided job opportunities for young people in various provinces. At the same time, Maulavi Hayatullah Mahajir Farahi, Deputy Governor of the province, praised the efforts of the graduates and expressed the need for more investments in the field of online commerce and freelancing. The National Disaster Preparedness Agency says that during the current year, it has signed cooperation agreements worth more than $100 million with domestic and foreign aid organizations. The head of this agency adds that they are trying to attract aid from aid organizations in the coming winter to help the needy people in the country. Let's see more in the report. Mullah Nuruddin Turabi, head of the National Disaster Preparedness Agency, in the program for distributing aid to the needy people affected by natural disasters, said that they have signed cooperation agreements worth more than $100 million with aid organizations in 1403.
We have come here with Memorandum of Understanding worth more than $100 million. So, Alhamdulillah, there are many organizations.
On the other hand, the head of this department adds that they are trying to attract aid from aid organizations to help the needy people affected by natural and unnatural disasters.
50% of people are in need and need assistance. We know that no matter how much we do, it is not enough, and we are still calling on the international community and business people or businessmen to help in every aspect, whether it is basic necessities, food, cash, or winter goods.
Meanwhile, the National Disaster Preparedness Agency distributed food and winter clothing to 500 flood victims and destitute people in Kabul. 22 people have been arrested in connection with the sale, use, and transportation of drugs in different provinces of the country. The Interior Ministry's Deputy Minister for Counter-Narcotics said that the suspects were arrested from Nimroz, Herat, Kapisa, Khost, Farah, and Parwan provinces during police operations. The deputy also added that some drugs such as methamphetamine, hashish, and heroin were also recovered from the detainees. Based on the order of the Islamic Emirates leader, 3 new 30-bed hospitals will be built in the districts of Parian, Hesayawal, and Dara of Panjshir province, which are facing the lack of hospitals. The Panjshir Public Health Department says that these hospitals will have general surgery, general internal medicine, pediatrics, eye and other wards. And the final one is that Torkham quarantine staff of the Nangarhar Agriculture Department have returned 19 tons of rotten garlic imported from Pakistan. The Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation and Livestock says that the Islamic Emirate has recently increased control over imported goods to prevent the entry of low-quality goods into Afghanistan. That's all for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.
ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا